Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. So this week I'm going to be carrying on my series of reacting to hamster cages on Pinterest, and this is part 3, so I'm just going to get right into it. So the first cage that I have is this bin cage. It looks pretty big, and I feel like they've probably put 2 bin cages together because of this little bit, but I feel like it looks very spacious. Also, there's a Syrian hamster in here, and they look very cute. They do have paper bedding, which is great because it's nice for holding burrows, it's soft, it's nice nesting material, and it looks to be a fair amount of deep bedding, so that's nice. What I will say though is that the wheel looks kind of small, especially for a Syrian hamster, so I would upgrade that. These tunnels look kind of like tight to squeeze through, like just because of these little turns, but that's not really a big deal. The main thing though, I will say, is little like balls, these plastic balls just precariously hanging off the cage. I know they're attached like in the inside, but still, it's only like a little plastic bin, so how secure could it really be? You know, you might accidentally bump into it, or the hamster could like potentially chew out of it, or it could just like break. Like, it just isn't really safe. If, for example, there's bedding in here, so maybe the hamster like sleeps in there, if they use that as a hideout, you could actually, you know, go ahead and put it inside a cage instead of precariously hanging it on the side. Also, this is quite a spacious cage, so I would just like recommend adding a bit more things in there, a few more hides, a few more, for example, cork logs and tunnels, and definitely more sprays and forage. I can see there's a little millet spray here and Dipper. My hamster also loves millet sprays, but I would just recommend adding a few like more things so that they can actually go and look for their food. And speaking of food, the pellet mix here is not at all good. It's very colourful and very like commercial, so when you see that, it's kind of from those like red flags in hamster food. Hamster foods should have protein, so like mealworms, seeds and grains, obviously the actual pellets, and like forage and stuff. They should have a mix of different things in there, but when it's overly colourful, that kind of just means that they're not getting the right nutrients, so I would just recommend getting a better seed mix. But other than that, I would just also say add some more substrates, especially sandbath, because hamsters need sandbaths to like bathe themselves. Also, different textures helps their nails stay like filed, because you know when they're walking on them and it kind of like files them down. So yeah, that's pretty much all I would say for this cage. Cage number 2 is also a bin cage, and it looks pretty nice. There's these little burrow bits down here, which is pretty cute, so you can see your hamster when they burrow. I don't know what material the bedding is, but if it's like a wood shaving, I would just, you know, recommend obviously seeing if it's safe. The wheel looks big enough. I would just make sure that because it's a wooden wheel, there isn't any like little wood bits that can go up and poke your hamster, like little splinters, because sometimes after a while it just gets splinters, and it has happened to me before where, like, you know, it's not very comfortable for your hamster to be on that wheel and they could get injured. So I just recommend like checking on it. There is a sandbath and also some substrates here, which is nice, and this little toy, so some enrichment and these hideouts, so they have multiple hideouts, and yeah, a tunnel. So it's not bad, but I would just recommend adding like maybe just one big hideout. So like you can even just make a DIY multi-chamber hideout, which is what I have, but just one main hideout they can use, and maybe just some more forage and sprays. But other than that, it does not look too bad. So cage number 3, again a bin cage, but it does look slightly smaller. Also, the wheel looks kind of tiny. I feel like this is probably for a dwarf hamster, because I can't imagine anyone would give this wheel to a Syrian, but even for a dwarf, I would just recommend getting a bigger wheel. But this cage does have a few millet sprays here and some more like forage and spray, so that's nice. And these look like wood shavings. Again, just check if they're safe. And there's some little like burrow bits down here, so that's nice. Sandbath, and these are like, I don't know, little platform bits. There's a little hideout. So in general, it looks pretty good. I would just recommend maybe adding like a little big hideout, or maybe not a big hideout, but there's a bit of empty space here, so maybe another hideout, maybe some enrichment toys, just kind of fill it up, because again, assuming this is for a dwarf hamsters are quite tinier than Syrians, so they want to have more places to hide and run away if they, you know, don't want to be held or something. But I would say just upgrade in the future. But see, like back here, there's this bigger cage in the background, so assuming that you do like no proper hamster care and have other cages that are like bigger, this is probably temporary. So cage number 4, when I was like looking through Pinterest, I saw this and I was like, oh my gosh, so shocked, and I was just so disappointed. So the person was saying in the description that it was like $20 at Target, and it was like a bookshelf, and they turned it into a hamster cage, and it was like more DIY, and I'm all for DIYing, but in the right way. This is definitely not the right way. It's just so small. It's not even like it's like really tall, but at least it has a lot of width like and length to it. It's just a really like, I don't know, these levels alone, and you don't count like each individual level on hamster cages because they need like continuous floor space. So one of these levels is probably like 100 square inches of floor space, which is nowhere near enough. For me, the minimum is probably like 500 square inches of floor space to like 600. That's like the minimum I would go. But this is just so horrible, and it's a Syrian hamster, so obviously, you know, they need more. This burrowing space isn't even a lot of space, so it's kind of like pointless at this point to even have that. And nowhere else, I mean, it doesn't even have bedding here. It has bedding here, but no bedding here. The flying saucer is not safe, too small, and just in general, flying saucers tend to make your hamster's back curve a little more. Obviously, if you have a really big one, that would be good, but you can't even fit a big flying saucer in here, and probably not even a big wheel, because it would take up like all the size of this. And these are like obviously DIY like stairs, but they look so unsafe. I mean, these are probably paper or something. I doubt your hamster would, it would be very, safe for them to actually climb up that. And up here, I mean, there's a bit of hay, a hideout, and a water bottle, and that's it. There's no like real enrichment. It's just one hideout, a wheel, and like that's literally it. There's really nothing for them to actually like do. And I don't know, you could have like scatter fed them or something. You could, I mean, where are you even supposed to add like forage? You can't really add like this whole cage. You can't even. There's no saving this. You just gotta chuck it and get a whole new cage, because this is just at this point animal abuse. And I don't know. It's so bad. I mean, there has been worse. Okay, it's not the worst hamster cage I've ever seen, but it's definitely not suitable for the needs of your hamster. So here is cage number 5, and I actually picked out this cage because I wanted to show you guys how you can actually, have a nice proper setup, but also have colour in it. You don't have to have, toxic dyes and toxic chew toys and stuff. You can still have a colourful cute cage, but make it suitable. So here's like a very cute wheel and some tunnels, and I'm pretty sure, I don't know where I saw it, but I think it was like Night Angel or something, so it's like colourful bedding, and of course it's non-toxic, and all these hides are pink, and it's very, very cute. It has all these sprays, different substrates, and like these all log bids. It's just honestly perfect. I love it. I don't really think I would say anything about it. Okay, cage number 6. I love this. So much burrowing space, and I also love when the hamsters actually use the burrowing space and they make these beautiful, beautiful burrows. There's a really big, nice wheel there and lots of hideouts here, which is nice. And just looking at the size of the cage, like not the burrowing depth, but I think it is like a good size. That looks like probably 600, 700, 800 square inches of floor space, so it looks really nice. And yeah, so hideouts, I think these are like probably sprays or something. I don't really have anything to say to it. I think it honestly has everything it needs. So I aspire to have this hamster cage someday. Like, oh, I just love when they have so much bedding. I love it. Okay, number 7. This is, again, a very disappointing one. And it's just so sad because the people in like the description of this were saying, oh yeah, I spent like $1,000 on this cage or something, but my hamster's still not happy. And it's just like, looking at this image makes me so claustrophobic, and just like, how do you imagine a hamster to want to live here? Like, imagine if their food is up there or something, and then because you're not going to put food in every single compartment of this cage, it will take forever. So imagine if you put their food there and they're down there, and you have to like go all the way up here like just to get food. That's so tedious. And no matter if you have like 1,000 of these, it will never be enough, because hamsters need continuous floor space to thrive. They just don't thrive off of going through these tiny tunnels, and like, I don't even know what this is. They don't like get anything out of that. It's just a sad life. They can also really easily chew through the plastic, and there's no real burrowing space. Like, there's a lot of different cages, but what do these cages actually have in them? Okay, maybe a few of them have a hideout in them, but they don't even have like burrowing space. They don't have any substrates or anything like that, any like real chew toys, any like puzzle toys or anything for them to actually do. I mean, there is like a wheel here, which it's big, so I'll give them that, but even like, you have to go through this big tube to get there, like, and you got to go down here. Like, that does not look like something the hamster would want to do. I mean, I would want to do that if I was a hamster. It just looks so overstimulating to be here and to live here, and it's just not good at all. So instead of spending this much money on this horrendous thing, I would just recommend actually investing in a good hamster cage that will leave your hamster happy. Okay, cage number 8 is, again, another amazing example of hamster care. There's these little moss bits here, sprays, a lovely big wheel, lots of cute hideouts, millet sprays. All these little flowers look very pretty. And again, the bedding is pink, which is lovely. Oh my gosh, I didn't even see the hamster. He kind of blended in with the platform. It looks very cute. They look like probably a Russian dwarf hamster. They look very adorable. I love the little mushrooms going on and the strawberries, and oh, it looks so cute. And it's also very like cluttered, but in a good way, because that means that the hamster has, like, they feel safe. It's not out in the open. They have places to hide in, but it's also still very enriching. So I literally have nothing to say to this. I love it. Okay, cage number 9 is, again, a very disappointing one. Well, we have the things that we saw in the first cage, these all balls hanging precariously off the cage. But that's not even the main issue. Just looking at this, one of those levels is probably like 50 square inches of floor space, like maximum 100. But this is just so disappointing. They have one hideout, one wheel, which is too small for any species of hamsters. I mean, they do have another little hideout here, which is, better to have 2 hideouts. But the food looks so bland, and just no. They have 1 stick, but meh. And a little like swing here, which I don't really know why your hamster would want to swing on that. But either way, there's no enrichment. There's an unsuitable wheel, which your hamster's probably not going to use that. 2 hideouts to sleep in, but that's literally it. Some chew toys. Like, what do you want them to do in here? It's just so depressing. It's so depressing. Like, I would use this as a travel cage, but how would you like let your hamster live in here? And again, like, having more like levels like this does not count as like more floor space, because it's not continuous floor space. So like, it's just, what's the point of having this cage? You might as well put them in a Tupperware container. Like, oh my gosh, this is so bad. Okay, and this is cage number 10. Now, I don't think it's horrible. I think it's big enough, because these are cages that are meant for like guinea pigs. So I don't think it's bad, because normally people would put like well, this is a 2x4, so this would be good for 2 female guinea pigs. It would be the absolute bare minimum. So, you know, having 1 Syrian hamster in that space is pretty good, but it's just not enough bedding. Like, these grids are very tall. You could put so much bedding, and like it is possible, but they just have not done it. I think it's because they haven't like sealed these little gaps here, so the bedding would like come out. But if you like put some sort of like sheet on it, like some plastic sheet, or if you just like cover it, I don't know what you could put in that hole, but if you like research on that a little bit, there's probably someone who's done it. Actually, there is someone who's done it, because I was looking at Amazon reviews for this guinea pig cage, and there was someone who like transformed it into a hamster cage, so it is possible to fill it up and to have a lot of bedding depth. I mean, it isn't horrible. The wheel is alright, and there is quite a few things, but it's just not great. Again, add more sprays in, a few more hideouts, because at the moment there's only like 1 real hideout, and I don't know what that like colourful paper is, but I'm assuming it's toxic because it's like colourful confetti, so I would probably not recommend that. But yeah, there's a lot of DIY things going on here, which is great, but I would just recommend adding more stuff, more bedding, just more hideouts in general. I also don't see a sandbath, and again, sandbaths are very important. Please put in sandbaths, like they are literally how your hamster cleans themselves. So yeah, that was the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed. Maybe from a few of these cages you got some hamster inspiration, and I hope you saw what not to do with some of these cages. But thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!